We're just gonna go the rounds again here. I think.
But you never validated my position, the
And
position
you're not
that
listening
I was forced
to me
into by this
either.
experience.
Anyway.
Janelle Brown is finally single. But don't confuse her gentle independence with some...
Didn't want to be around you, and that's not true at all.
I just asked you if you still want to live for a marriage.
...one eager to leap back into love. Having spent years living the drama of a plural marriage with Kody Brown...
Because I'm not sure.
You did the same exact thing to me. Exactly.
She's not only taking a respite from romance, she's freeing herself from a lifetime of emotional concessions. For the moment, it appears that removing herself from relationships altogether is less about getting over it.
I think I'm gonna have to lawyer up. I think that's the only way I'm ever gonna get any kind of decision out of him.
And you need to have a...
And more about reclaiming finally the pieces of herself she lost in the process. Most fans initially came to know Janelle as the level-headed, no-nonsense wife in the chaos of sister wives. But long before cameras ever started rolling, her tale started in the early 90s when she met Kody Brown, when he was still monogamous and only married to Mary. On the surface, their relationship didn't exactly shout romance. Janelle wasn't the average girlfriend for a guy like Kody, but what they did have in common was a strong tradition of believing in plural marriage, something that united them more than most contemporary couples could possibly comprehend. Theirs wasn't a flashy connection. It was one built on values, mutual respect, and a hope for something bigger than themselves. That dream became a reality when Christine joined them in 1994, and the Brown family polygamous adventure was officially underway. The Browns had pulled off what most outside observers thought was impossible for almost 2 decades, a supposedly working 4-way marriage. All that changed, however, the instant Robyn Brown entered the scene. When Kody brought Robyn on board as his 4th wife, the equilibrium in the family gradually but inexorably began to shift. Strains that had long bubbled silently beneath the surface suddenly came to a boil. Mary, Christine, and Janelle, women who had struggled so hard to keep peace tenuously intact, began to find the burden of comparison and rivalry growing too heavy. Robyn's arrival did not merely disturb the emotional balance, it broke the very fabric of their lives. That breaking point unfolded in full-fledged fractures during the COVID-19 pandemic. Quarantines and Kody's authoritarian rules revealed favoritism in cruel, undeniable terms. It was clearer than ever that Kody's focus had centered on Robyn, leaving the other wives, particularly Christine and Janelle, emotionally abandoned. In 2021, Christine made the first move, leaving the marriage that no longer worked for her. Janelle and Mary eventually followed, each with their own heartbreak and awakening. But when Christine remarried David Woolley, opting for an entirely new life instead of the one she'd spent decades building, fans were left wondering, would Janelle do the same? Or would her storyline be significantly different? Janelle isn't ready, however. Not yet. One of the primary reasons Janelle is waiting on love is because of her tangled and unresolved past with Kody. Unlike Mary, whose relationship with Kody crumbled after the infamous catfishing scandal in the early 2010s, and Christine, who became disillusioned with the concept of plural marriage altogether, Janelle held on longer than anyone expected. She and Kody had something that, for a while, resembled mutual partnership. In a household where feelings regularly boiled over and drama was an ongoing occurrence, Janelle provided a calm strength, one that was able to keep their relationship grounded even when all that was around them was in disarray. Whereas Mary and Christine both had defined breaking points, Janelle's was more incremental. Her split was not a clean break. It was a painful, gradual discovery that the man she used to trust no longer viewed her in the same light. And unlike Christine, who got a second chance at love, Janelle appears less concerned with finding a new partner and more committed to discovering who she is on her own, free from Kody's shadow. At least that's her focus for now. And perhaps justly, remaining single is Janelle's strongest move yet. ChatGPT stated, "Over the course of the last few months, Sister Wives fans have witnessed an emotional roller coaster between Janelle and Kody Brown. Their breakup, with all the drama spotlighted in Season 18, wasn't a clean break littered with resentment. It was much more complicated by lingering emotions and unresolved optimism. Unlike the explosive separations Kody faced with Mary and Christine, This one carried an undercurrent of sadness, even affection. At times, it almost seemed like they weren't truly done with each other. In interviews and on-screen moments, Kody hinted that he still believed he could win Janelle back, while Janelle herself admitted to missing him in quieter moments. Their connection hadn't evaporated. It had simply become complicated. What made this split especially hard was the lack of animosity. Kody had given up on Mary long ago, emotionally checked out years before they were legally separated, and he had cut himself off from Christine due to what he felt was betrayal and disloyalty. But with Janelle, none of that existed. There was no tabloid-worthy blow-up or scandalous breakdown. Instead, there was a painful recognition that love, mutual respect, and shared history weren't enough any longer. The type of connection they'd forged over decades of life together, isn't something that just disappears overnight. And because of that, getting over each other hasn't been easy for either of them. Nonetheless, Janelle is determined to make a new chapter on her own terms. After all these years of living in Kody's sphere, years of sacrificing her wants, occupying emotional space with other wives, and attempting to define herself within a complex family dynamic, Janelle is finally choosing herself. Unlike Christine, who departed in pursuit of a fiery love affair, or Mary, who left after years of disappointment, Janelle's departure was not motivated by want or sadness. It was motivated by something less loud yet equally potent, a yearning for peace. She didn't want to fight anymore. She didn't want to be an afterthought. She wanted to live, without apology, freely, and on her own terms. And that's what she's doing. Today, Janelle is thriving in her new single life. She's not out searching for a new man. There is no dating scandal, no pining for what might have been. Instead, she's off traveling the world, taking life in daring strides. Whether driving down the highway in her RV, spending time with her kids, or immersing herself in personal health, Janelle is living a life that is now about her. Not Kody, not polygamy, and not what others think. She's traded marital compromise for self-discovery, and it shows. Her own transformation is playing out in public as well. With more than 1 million followers on Instagram, Janelle has become the unlikely influencer, motivating women around the world with her honest observations, exercise reports, and self-empowering posts about reinvention at any age. Her account isn't concerned with bragging about an extravagant lifestyle. It's concerned with presenting a woman who's tackling tough emotional labor, healing, and reimagining success on her own terms. And in this year of her life, there's just no space for another man. Because for the first time in decades, Janelle Brown isn't splitting herself. She's holding her peace, her power, and her story, all to herself. And that, in itself, could be the most radical love story she's ever written. The last few months, Janelle Brown has been living a freedom that many women her age can only imagine, and she's doing it in her own way. From the Red Rock Mountains of Moab to the peaceful quiet of Kanab, she's been blazing her own trail through Utah's most stunning scenery. These journeys aren't simply picturesque retreats, they're metaphorical. Each mile she drives is a mile closer to the simpler life she escaped. In January, she even pushed her travels to new heights and new coasts, with a restorative sojourn in Hawaii. There, surrounded by balmy sunsets and old friends, Janelle appeared to lose years of emotional baggage. Her smile was brighter, her energy more vivacious. This wasn't vacation time. It was a rebirth. And the thing is, Janelle doesn't need a new man in her life to feel complete, because she's already got the kind of love that really, really counts. Unlike Christine, who wed again after all those years of yearning for something more emotionally satisfying, Janelle's tale is a whole different story. Christine always appeared to yearn for that fairy tale conclusion, the soulmate, the passion, the vow of being somebody's one and only. And after suffering through the chill of her relationship with Kody, she found it in David Woolley. But Janelle? She was never whole. She never required a man to complete her. What she required, and at last bestowed upon herself, was independence. Her entourage doesn't contain a romantic love, but it's packed with something equally as strong, unshakable support. Her friends, kids, and extended family are the ones grounding her in this new stage. They've stuck with her through the tears, the stress, and the on-air meltdowns. And now they're there to enjoy the celebration of happiness. Love isn't roses and candlelit dinners for Janelle. It appears to be inside jokes during beach holidays, laughter over campfires, and peaceful afternoons with those who really see her. That network isn't just in the background, however. It's front and center. Janelle's social media profile has flowered into something delightfully real. She doesn't present a perfect life. She presents hers. In post after post, fans can see her beaming beside her kids, giggling with friends, or enjoying a much-needed moment of solitude. One particular photo from October stood out. A simple selfie on the beach, sun-kissed and smiling, captioned with the words, "Enjoying just hanging out at this house on the beach." No filters, no forced happiness, just real, grounded contentment. And that's the essence of Janelle's transformation. She's not desperately trying to replace Kody and reclaim a part of herself from many years ago. She's building something new. A life where she can be peaceful, be herself, and be encompassed by love that does not require compromise. She isn't searching for romance. She's searching for fulfillment. And at this point, she's found it. In the embrace of her family, in the resiliency of her friendships, and in the soft, steady thud of a woman finally living for herself. Janelle Brown isn't looking back. Not anymore. Today, she isn't concerned with rekindling dead flames or reaching fairy tale happy endings. It's about something much more holy: peace. She's more interested in the warmth of meals shared, the laughter that rises in good company, and the still magic of being alone in the wild. Having invested emotional energy into a relationship for decades that all too frequently left her as an afterthought, Janelle has made one thing crystal clear. Her time, her love, and her presence now come only for those who appreciate them. And if she does ever choose to open her heart to someone new, that man had better be special. Because Janelle is no mere mortal. She survived the emotional trials, 3 decades of messy, complicated years with Kody Brown. And she didn't just survive them. She transformed through them. She's become a self-assured, empowered, and unapologetically bold woman who has no idea who she isn't and what she doesn't want. She's not indulging in romantic fantasies or compromising her values for the sake of company. No, Janelle is playing by a new rulebook now, and she's writing them. Her Instagram bio states it most accurately: rooted, empowered, authentic. These aren't empty words. They're a manifesto. Janelle has centered herself in her truth, accepted the power that came from leaving, and chosen to live in a life that honors her most authentic values. Whether she's taking the open road on yet another solo travel adventure, starting a new business venture, or simply basking in the radiance of the everyday, Janelle is doing it all with clarity and confidence. And when it comes to romance, she's raising the stakes sky high. After all she's been through, Janelle won't give herself up again for a one-way relationship. Her future love, if there ever is one, will have to match her strength, her autonomy, and her drive. He'll have to grasp that Janelle doesn't require him. She would be electing him. And that election won't be easy. He'd have to provide her with something worth risking her hard-won independence for: joy, encouragement, real partnership, anything less. But even outside of relationships, Janelle has experienced a complete rebirth, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. She's no longer stuck in the shadows of what happened in the past. Rather, she's embracing a younger, healthier version of herself. Fitness and health have become a cornerstone part of who she is now, and she's been working tirelessly to get in the best shape of her life as an adult. Her vitality is different now, concentrated, luminous, unrelenting. And she's not slowing down for a good long while. Retirement? Don't count on it. Janelle is still constructing, still envisioning, still discovering what can be. And anyone who wants to have a seat at her table will have to bring it all. That same passion, that same ambition, that same uncompromising zeal for expansion. Because she's not moving backward, not for anyone. For the time being, Janelle Brown is happy. Happier than happy. She's flourishing. And as the world wonders whether she'll ever fall in love again, the true tale is this. Janelle has already fallen in love with herself. And that could be the greatest love story of all.